Is Pakistan gearing up to normalise ties with Israel? In the last 2 months, 5 countries have: the UAE, Bahrain, the Sudan, Morocco and Bhutan. Will Pakistan be the next one? This question is the subject of intense speculation from journalists to pundits. Everyone has weighed in. Israel and Pakistan haven't though. But there are feelers. Tonight on Gravitas, we try to join the dots to answer the question, is Pakistan going to normalise ties with Israel? The idea has high-profile backers. Members of the Pakistani military establishment support it. Some religious leaders also like the prospect of a partnership. But Islamabad may not have the stomach to go ahead. On this show, we'll tell you why. Let's begin from the beginning. Who set the cat among the pigeons? The one and only Imran Khan Niazi, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, issued a statement in November. He claimed that Pakistan was under pressure from the United States to befriend Israel. Was it just the United States? Had any Muslim or Arab countries made similar demands? Imran Khan was asked this question. In response, he said, and I quote, "There are things we cannot say. We have good relations with them." The words of Imran Khan. The good relations bit is a bit debatable, but that's for another day. Tonight we'll focus on Israel. Imran Khan's words triggered intense speculation. The Pakistani media began debating the subject. Some of them said that it's time for change. Experts from Pakistan ended up on Israeli television channels, advocating for better ties between Pakistan and Israel. Within a week, the Pakistan government was forced to issue another denial. The foreign ministry this time, quote unquote, categorically rejected what it called baseless speculation. And since then, Pakistan has made every effort to distance itself from the idea. In fact, the story got so big that even the Pakistani army had to issue a statement. They supported the Pakistan government's stand. No ties with Israel, they said. But the reports have not died down. Religious leaders have added fuel to the fire. The man on your screen right now is Maulana Muhammad Khan Sherani. He's a prominent religious figure in Pakistan. He was part of the Jamaat-e-Ulema-e-Islam. It's a political party in this country. And he has also served as a member of the National Assembly of Pakistan. Earlier this month, Sherani was asked about the issue of Israel, and he backed the idea of normalizing ties. This is what he said, and I'm quoting again, "This is an international issue. I support the recognition of Israel. Educated Muslims need to understand that the Quran and history prove to us that the land of Israel belongs only to the Jews. King David built the house of God in Jerusalem for the Israelis and not for the Palestinians." More religious leaders have joined the chorus since. Suddenly, Maulana Jamal Qadri was reminded of his visit to Israel. Qadri claimed that he was sent by none other than Nawaz Sharif. What was the purpose of the visit? And I'm quoting from what he said. "To hold talks with officials in Tel Aviv." Here is the full quote. "The people of the then foreign ministry wanted to know whether Pakistan could develop relations with Israel or not. I told the Prime Minister twice that Pakistan's parliament should be consulted or a national dialogue be held to take a decision in this regard." According to Qadri, Nawaz Sharif was quite keen on formalizing ties with Israel. But why is he telling about all of this now? By the way, the Israel debate is not new for Pakistan. They've been weighing the possibility of diplomatic ties for years now, but no government has ever found the courage to go ahead with it. In 2018, an Israeli jet landed in Islamabad. Who was on board? Most reports said it was an Israeli delegation visiting Pakistan. Islamabad denied that story for one whole week. But 1 year later, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Qureshi supported friendship with Israel. He said, and I'm quoting again, "We wish all the best for Israel. We have many friends in the region and we would like you to join them." This is what Qureshi told an Israeli news outlet. And while talking about the American efforts to improve the political situation in the region, in the end, Qureshi also admitted that Pakistan is interested in advancing ties with Israel. In the past, Pervez Musharraf had called for better ties with Israel too. In 2005, he'd even taken a bold step by publicly shaking hands with the then Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon in Istanbul, Turkey. So clearly there is the desire. What Pakistan lacks is the courage to take the plunge. What are they afraid of? The hardliners and terrorists like Hafiz Saeed, who regularly call Israel the enemy. It's their favorite subject in Friday sermons. And we all know what kind of influence such hardliners and extremists have on the government of Pakistan, on the establishment of Pakistan. Why go far? Look at what happened earlier this year. They laid a siege on Islamabad when French President Emmanuel Macron announced his fight against radical Islam. These same hardliners and extremists might throw a fit if Pakistan normalizes ties with Israel. The question then is Imran Khan willing to risk their wrath? WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.